All right, guys, welcome back to Sweat Equity. We're at Casa Garcia, Ranch Garcia, a smooth 22 miles out from downtown Austin, but it's a beautiful
Is
home.
it is it 22 miles for you?
It's 22 miles. Yeah. Couple of fun facts that I haven't on my trip out here. I passed 3 mega churches, and I think Alex is going for #1 rural marketer in the USA. I think that's why you did it, because he wanted to be the only guy.
Positioning, baby.
Yeah, he's got a Popeyes Chick-fil-A combo right around the corner.
Look, Panda Express.
Yeah.
Panda Express is here.
Everything you see in a mall.
Didn't say any of that when we walked in. He's looking at his notes app right now. Man, it's like ready.
I do have that on our notes app because I had so many good chirps while I was driving over here. I want to make sure I got them up. But pumped about this episode. So going to talk about modern content engines. So the sourcing of ad creative is something that really exploded in price. And nowadays, I think we are entering a new world where, because of this, everyone's a creator right now, like the nano influencer thing. Like, everyone's making content because they see this as a path to side income. I think that's kind of changed the whole UGC sourcing mechanisms. And we get a lot of questions on our comments about people asking, okay, I don't have this huge budget, like, how do I spin up the amount of creative? How do I get all this content that you're asking for? So that's what I'm going to walk through. This will be a 2-parter. So we're going to speed run through this content engine piece, and then Alex, you're going to rip on.
So the main thing I'm going to be talking about is, everybody sees this is day 1 of doing XYZ. And it's weird because, like, there's conversations of either A, it's played out and you shouldn't be doing it, but the data says otherwise. Like, if you actually look at the data, it is how some creators and some brands are growing the fastest is by doing that series.
Sure.
I'm talking about, like, there's this guy Yannick. Have you seen him? The guy that's rebuilding a bowling alley.
Yes.
I think I talked about him roughly a month ago. When I talked about him a month ago, he's at like 500,000 followers. He's now nearly 900,000 followers off like 30 posts, dude. And this just
cheat code for momentum, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just
it shouldn't be your whole thing.
Yeah.
But if you nail it, it could be something that gets you 50,000, 100,000 followers like this. We have fans of the pod, Bad Ambres. We've talked about them before. Yeah. Like, they're almost at 100,000 followers off of,
which is crazy,
like 15, 20 posts. Yeah. That's like, hey, this is day 1 of, I think it was like quitting my job to start a frozen bean burrito company or something like that. Like, there's ways to do it. What I'm going to be talking about is the different ways you can position that series, because you do have to make it interesting, right? Like, you can't just say, like, this is day 1 of me doing X. It's day 1 of me doing X or this is day 1 of doing X because of Y and shit like that. And, like, that positioning is key for these.
Yes, I'll have some stuff there, because something I've been looking at is turning failures into content opportunities. And so that'll definitely fuck you well with that. But at the end of this episode, what you'll have is two-parter episode. What you'll have is just the ability to scale up your content engine for not a lot of dollars, right? I mean, most of your costs will be seeding these creators, and, obviously your own labor. You have to create a brief, etc. And then Alex is going to obviously give you the playbook to how to get momentum, by world building. But the world is just you as the founder's world, right? It doesn't have to be this curated, crazy-ass. You don't got to go to Lake Como, rent a boat,
It helps.
Yeah, that helps if you got that budget. But if you don't, your everyday world can be really strong. So the first thing you're going to do if you want to source a critical mass of content is you are going to identify your target audience. Now, that sounds very basic, but I want to talk about a guy who is on the pod, Squid Pactor. He has done what I think is starting to become, the modern playbook, which is his original thesis was, I'm going to send my product to all these young dudes that work out, and I'm going to make them make TikTok shop content. And I'm going to pay them a percentage of ad spend, right? Now, the first question as a brand owner you're asking is, like, how am I going to find those people, right? And I don't recommend any of these UGC sourcing things. I think you can use Billio. I've seen guys making $100 million a year using Billio as their main creative sourcing. So that's one place. Sorrel, obviously, friend of the pod. Some of these different ones, but my personal recommendation would be Yuka, EUKA.ai. And that's unsponsored, not like, they're just someone that I use very effectively. And the reason I am so bullish on what they're doing is because they're building the first AI creator search tool that integrates with TikTok shop content. And so what that means is, we have a brand that is a baby brand, right? And so they have a breastfeeding product, and
Is it the snot one?
new one. And what's interesting is in the past, right, you could search based on demographic, you could search based on age, you could search based on gender, right? So I want a mom that's around, 25 to 35, and maybe specify some more things, but you couldn't specify an action, right? You couldn't say a mom that makes content about motherhood, or makes content about the like issues that you have with motherhood, or trial, specifically maybe breastfeeding if it's a breastfeeding product, whatever. So like what they have done is added the ability to filter people by the content that they're making. So how does this apply to a workout apparel brand? You're able to find, men.
How are they filtering? Is it
Their
keywords?
AI is able to, because of the TikTok shop categorization, like TikTok shop, like Instagram doesn't do this, for example. So if you wanted to do this on IG, then you would have to build some sort of video analysis tool that scrapes all the videos of any creator after already assigning them demographics.
I gotta show you. I don't want to derail the conversation, but I gotta show you because I want you to use it. I told you we've been building like a Pinterest for IG.
Yeah.
You can search like by keywords and it'll pull specific topics. And it's actually been pretty interesting on like the way that you can filter through, but go ahead.
Either way, so, whatever tool you're using, like if you're building a workout apparel brand, if you're building Wood Grain Golf, that guy that we talked about on the Lost episode, which we'll get back to those episodes one day. But if you would search for, men 18 to 45 that make golf content, right? At that point, like, okay, you've identified your list, right? How are you going to reach out to them? Well, number one, you can scrape all their emails. It's a bunch of different tools that will try and scrape an IG email. But if you, again, this is the leverage you have on TikTok Shop and you're using Yuka, you can send them a DM and just say, hey, we want to send you, some free product. Like, this is your micro-influencer flow, right? You identify who they are. You then send them a message saying, hey, we want to send you some free product. All you got to do is make a couple videos. We're going to send you what we want you to create. And then once we receive that, we're going to obviously, you post them on your page, and we just want whitelisting capabilities. So what is whitelisting? Whitelisting is where you run an ad from the creator's handle, not yours. And this to me is the modern content engine, because in the past, maybe you get like 30 UGC videos for, $400, $500 pop. It's like 10 racks for stuff that might not work, right? If you identify this list of 4,000 people, which is typically when I'll kind of, go into this and create a filtered search, I'll get like 4 to 6K of folks. And it would be 4 to 6K like golf creators, like micro influencer golf creators making like 15 bands a month on TikTok Shop and GMB. It's probably like 3K of extra income, right? So these people aren't going to be super expensive. When you send them the product, they're going to be happy about it. They're going to try and make a video to earn commission on TikTok Shop. But more importantly, you're going to say, we also want to get usage rights. If your video drives sales on TikTok Shop, we want usage rights to be able to run that on other platforms. And if you do that up front, you mitigate against, the video popping off, going viral, and, the creator coming back to me like, yo, 10 bands for the video, right? You just say, hey, we're going to pay you flat fee, $500 for the usage rights of that video, and we'll pay you a percentage of ad spend, maybe 1% of every ad dollar we put behind it on Meta. People are very receptive to this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're starting to build this out for a couple brands, and it's really working. Now you're sending product to 400 people. They're incentivized to create content that drives sales.
Yep. They
make 5 videos, right? You have 2,000 videos now to choose from. If your hit rate on that is, let's just call it, 10% of them make revenue, you have 200 videos that are probably going to perform decently well in your Meta ad account that you've already pre-negotiated usage rights for.
Yeah.
If you use all 200, yeah, maybe, you have to pay quite a bit of usage rights for them. But like at that point, you're just up against the wall of like, do you have inventory to support that investment? Because this is going to move units. We see pretty much a 1-to-1 correlation. Like the top performer in some of our ad accounts, we're spending around $3 million a month, is almost always like a whitelisted UGC ad from a TikTok Shop creator that went viral. So this is kind of your hack. It's like, it's less upfront capital expenditure, because if you're going to work with a UGC agency, it's probably $10K a month for like 3 months minimum. Right?
Yep.
You get 90 videos. Or you can invest that same sampling dollar figure, which again is kind of like a sunk cost. You have the product in your warehouse somewhere and you're sending that to people. It doesn't have to be 4,000 people. If you have a list of 1,000 people, you send it to 100, you're still going to get a better outcome here than if you're going through the traditional UGC route. And this is something where like we're starting to sunset just our paid ads division in favor of building this content engine for people because it's so much more scalable. You need so much creative volume in a meta ad account to win. Like you have to be introducing new ads every single day. Like not every single day, but like maybe on a 5 days cadence. And this is such a good way to test and scale those different angles, different people. If you take it a step further, when you brief the creator, who is now, you have a direct line of communication with them, you can message them in the TikTok Seller Center, or you can take it off platform, build a Discord community, whatever it is. You create a brief in Canva. And like I'll actually link in the show notes one of our example briefs because I think it's really helpful for people to understand how to scope this out. But like if you're a creator and you get these sponsored posts, right? Like, if I have to come up with something myself, I'm gonna hit one, But if they say, hey, we have these 4, we just want you to make these 4. Here's like, borderline like plug this concept into GPT, rip a script, but that obviously lowers the threshold of difficulty for the creator. Because again, this is a people business, right? People have time, commitments, whatever. So you want to lower this threshold of difficulty for them to make a bunch of content. So when we send a brief, we say, here's a testimonial format, here's a problem solution format, here's a one-shot, trending audio format. Like you give them 5 examples. And when it's in Canva, you can actually just click play on the, PDF style. And that has allowed us to see our average videos that we're getting per creator go up from like around like 1.3 to 2.6.
Because that barrier of friction, dude, is the thing that cripples just about any creator or even myself. Like 100%. I hate to say it, I've had brands that will send me stuff. I'm like, yeah, I'll make you a video if you send me all that stuff. Like that's super cool. But then it's like, I get it. I'm excited. And then I sit at my computer for like a little bit. And I'm like, what should I make?
And then they're
like, and then I don't make the video. And like that right there is like the typical issue that a lot of people run into versus what you're saying is like on the brief side, if you give them 5 examples that are, hey, here's a very easy video to make. Here's a harder video to make. Here's a 1-shot video to make. Here's a little 10-shot video to make. You make it so much easier to get their juices flowing and say, hey, like this is, okay, I can just take this and put this little spin on it.
Yeah. And the right creators understand that what you're doing is a mutually beneficial situation. Yep. You are trying to give them concepts and ideas that will make a banger, that will make them more money, right? Not only are you sending them free product, because what's insane is when you talk to big brands and you realize that like their PR agency is just having them ship product to, all of these different like random people, right? Like they're sending out like, they're just scraping IG or going off some list and like sending like a PR box to a girl. And she posted on their story one time for like $300. And you're like, wait, what? Like this is like happening at scale. Like, and so that's why I truly believe like, a lot of people are haters on, maybe the TikTok shop, like profit in platform. But in actuality, when you look at it as a line item on your overall marketing P&L, right? Which is what people should be doing. This is not just necessarily, everyone's addicted to the ROAS, right? But like at the end of the day, you want to build a healthy business. Like ROAS is just one metric in these different channels. If you're so obsessed with it, you're probably not going to succeed in the next 5 years because it's only going to get more expensive. But this is how you kind of mitigate some of that stuff is you get a lot of organic grassroots people talking about you. The TikTok algorithm is such that, when I accidentally click on one of those Haus videos, one of Squid's videos, like, I'm getting 4 more in the next 3 days.
Bro, nobody talks about how good TikTok's algo is. Well, they do. But I'm saying the fact that like yesterday it happened, I consumed what trend was it? It was like a towel trend where like dads were whipping their kids with the towel. You know what I'm saying? Where they wet the tip of the towel. I consumed one video and like I watched it 3 or 4 times because it was hilarious. I'm not lying. As I continued to scroll, I was getting hit with it analyzed the fact that I consumed that, watched it 3 times through, and all of a sudden, probably within 3 to 4 minutes, I was getting way more of the towel, like the towel trend in my feed. It was kind of crazy. Mm-hmm. But no, I'm there with you on like the modern content engine, especially on the UGC side and the influencer side, where like it's shifted from this this pay to post, one post, $3,000. I'm going to hold my, my drink like this. I'm just going to smile or make like a simple video, like, to now this content engine is essentially this content flywheel. If you have a creator army, right? You have a creator army always making content for you. And then you continuously build that flywheel by doing what you said, where you continuously have the filters, you have you continue to search and you continue to add people to those army. Like, there's always going to be a percentage that create content, they get into your army. And then I think that part that's interesting as well is like the fact that you can find the outliers, right? And those outliers are then the people that you're going to want to put on retainers, right? Like you can find the 5 to 10 that are the absolute hitters. Every piece of content they made.
And that's the next phase,
yeah,
right? Is once you find hitters, you have to
bring them,
incentivize them to participate in your upside.
Yeah,
make it make sense with you. But if you're paying 5% of ad spend to a hitter, like that's worth its weight in gold, obviously, if they're converting for you. Yeah. And so again, that's kind of the move, right? Is like and let's just talk numbers on this, because say you do this and you have a, $4 cost of goods on your, supplement product, or maybe it's an apparel brand and you have a high cost of goods. Maybe it's like $15, right? Like, all right, well, you just sent out $7,500 for the product. You send 500 samples. Like,
yeah,
that is going to be such a better investment than paying a UGC agency for 25 videos, because now you have a direct line with these creators. You're probably going to get like 25 to 50 great videos.
Yeah.
But not only that, once they do well for you, they're going to continue to, like, you don't need to resample them, right? Like the business arrangement changes. So it's more long lasting, takes longer, because a lot of people wanted to source UGC from an agency and then put it in the ad account.
Because are you switching your whole offer to this?
Yeah.
Without like getting too much maybe into it?
Yeah.
Okay, you're switching the whole offer to this. That 30 day, is that first month, are you actually getting to that like process in 30 days, or is it taking probably like 45?
So I'm kicking off today with a brand, and my timeline for them is going to be, we're going to identify the list, begin outreach.
Yeah.
I think sourcing, like getting the actual, we'll have a list of 4,000, getting the first 1,000 people to say yes will probably take about 3 weeks. We'll begin sampling the first 300 of that 1,000 in like 2 or 3, and they'll receive the brief and they have 2 weeks to create the content. So that'll be 6 weeks to value.
Yeah.
So it's 6 weeks between like initiating the process and, then receiving your first wave of content. And then obviously.
And then it goes 30 days after that.
Yeah. And then it changes going. But regardless of my agency offer, I'm more so saying it's for like the bootstrap brand. It's like, you should expect this to take about 6 to 8 weeks. So if you want to push for a October product launch, then you want to start in like late August.
I think it would be valuable if you explain though, you're working with a lot of 8 and 9 figure brands, right? So you're able to seed 300 people. You're able to seed maybe 500 people.
Right.
Or yeah.
More. They seed like 5,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
What if you're the brand that go into your first 0 to first million?
I think you need to, I think that is a space where you need to get comfortable with this investment, right? Because ultimately in business, you're always going to be risk averse and you don't want to like unload the clip and stuff. But as long as you take the intermediary steps between sample and receiving content, which to me is communicating with that creator and like bringing them into your orbit. Like if I'm a founder and I'm hungry about this business, if you are someone serious about making it work, right? You want to go 0 to 1. Well, yeah, news for you. It's going to take like 70 hours a week. That's number one. Number two is I would recruit them, and then, I'm jumping on a call with every creator.
Yep.
Every single one. And I'm pitching the vision. I'm going to tell them what sells this product. If you have no sales whatsoever, that's on you. Then I think that's more of a part 2, where it's like you have to sell your product before someone else can sell it. But I'm meeting with every single creator. I'm pitching them on the vision, building that Discord. If your Discord is 30 creators strong, but they create content for you all the time and they have the proper incentives, that's more than doable to get to your first $100,000 in sales. And a lady I talked to recently, she has a teeth whitening product, and she's done this exact thing, right? Like she has gone the TikTok shop first route, and she is grinded. It's like, it started at like 20K a month, 50K a month. Like when she came to me, she was at 100K. Now she just had a 300K a month. And it's because these creators that she's talking to believe in her, because she has an oral care product. Big oral care brands don't give a shit about the creator, but she has one where they're talking to the founder and like they believe in the mission. And so it's just like there's so high leverage once you are able to do that. But I mean, that's the move, right? You just have to get your hands dirty. But this is the most important thing you could do, right? I mean, what else matters if you're a digitally native brand other than your content volume?
That's it.
Yeah.
That's
It's
it.
like you should have a good website for sure, and your product should work and do at least like 80% of what you claim it does. But like,
But content
otherwise-
should literally be like the nucleus of your entire brand.
totally.
And that's such a shift. I have a YouTube video that I'm building on the back, or that I'm filming this week. That's just like, it's funny how much content has shifted what marketing actually is. And that's what you and I think we talked about this a few weeks ago, where like content is the new marketing, right? Where before everything would be driven by just performance, or you would look at content as the last pillar within your entire marketing org. And it has shifted to content being the biggest focus, and everything should be built on the back end.
100%.
Email, SMS, your
How are you getting more
your
good
ads.
content
Yes.
is like the overall marketing
Yes.
department's initiative.
And then like not even just how you're getting good content, but like how are we extracting all the data from our content to make better decisions everywhere else?
Totally. It should shape your landing page copy. If you have a banger,
Yes.
like what this insight from her brand is it's teeth whitening, it's oil pulling, like it's Guru Nanda, right? It's the same thing. It's shout out show.
Does it work?
I don't know.
You give them a try it?
Yeah. But like the thing is, it you wouldn't expect the winning angle to be this is why you have bad morning breath for a teeth whitening product,
Yeah.
right? But that's kind of, they found this other angle, which was every single person I've ever gone on a date with always said the same thing about me. My teeth are the whitest they've ever seen. And then they smile. And when you see this, and then you see it freaking 20 times across these different creators, you realize it's a system.
Yeah.
And that is the leverage of, they had a viral video that worked. They said, hey, other 25 creators that are in this Discord, because they were not at scale. Like this was a brand that was doing under 6 figures a month in revenue. They said, hey, other 25 creators that are working with us, like this popped off, like go make it, right? And they didn't have to pay those creators to make the video. They're just commissioned. So they wanted to go make money. So it's a completely new ecosystem to pull from. And I think where a lot of D2C brands are failing, or even bigger enterprise brands don't even know this is going on, but like they're not understanding that the spillover effect is not necessarily, oh, I'm just going to seed all these people and then I'm also going to pay for UGC. It's like this can replace your UGC line item expense.
Yep.
And actually drive value on 2 platforms. And I think that's just like an unbelievable leg up. But that's it for part 1. If you have any questions about the content engine, just hit us up, IG, comments, whatever. And then also we'll include that resource for you in the comments.
And guys, go ahead.
No, just stay tuned for part 2 next week.
Yeah. And guys, we're about to I know we're filming in all these different locations. We're about to get our shit squared away. We're both doing these crazy legs of travel right now. So give us a few more weeks. He's going to be in Europe for a bit.
Yeah.
I have some last like kind of productions I have to do this summer. And then we're going to be in a new office space, get the pod up and running in a studio again. But yeah, we'll hit part 2 in just a second.
Cool.